Okay, so what I want to talk about now is the theme builder. And there's two types of theme builders. There is the customizer, and then there's the block editor theme builder. And we're going to look at both. We're going to start with the customizer. I think it's easier to understand and use. So the idea with this element is that you are creating the construct for the site itself. So that would be where the menu bar goes, what it looks like, what the header looks like. Is there a hero navigation page? Is there a two-column website? Does it have a footer? All of those things are decided from the customizer or the theme builder block editor. Okay. And so we're going to use the customizer first, and then we're going to come back and also use the block editor, because you'll see with WordPress that there's actually two tools for this. And so at first, WordPress used a customizer. And then when they went to the block editor, they eventually made it where you actually built the customization of the site using block editor as well. So we're going to go back down to our site, and we've already inserted a bunch of images, and we're going to use that to go to the customizer. So we're going to go down to appearance, and we're going to go to customize. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through how you use this customizer to set up your site. So first you have your site identity. So in here you can insert a logo. You can give the site a title, a tagline. So I'm going to remove the logo and reinsert it. I'm going to click select logo. And then you'll see here that I've got the logo in here a number of times. I can select it and click select. Then it's going to ask me to crop it. So I'm going to grab these handles and move them so that it's strategically implemented into the page, and click crop image. Now you may not need a logo. You might decide that it looks better without a logo, just the name. So then you input the site name and some sort of a tagline here. And you can decide whether or not you need a logo, or you need a site title, or you need a tagline. Then down here, we have something called the site icon. And if you click right here and we load the graphic here, and once again, oh, I don't need to crop it. I'm just going to click skip cropping. And you'll see that it shows you what it's going to look like. And that's the little symbol that's up there at the top of the browser, right? So that's the first part. Now, what you'll notice with any theme is that the customizer will change depending upon the complexity of the theme. Some of them have lots of different options available for you, and some of them only have a few. So this one's somewhere in the middle. All right, so then we have colors. So I can come in here and I can choose a color for my background by clicking, or I can choose a color from down here. And notice what's really cool is that when I pick a dark color, the text turns white. And when I pick a light color, the text turns dark. And the cool thing about that is that's because of all the dynamic building that we're doing using that CMS system, right? And so I can make the page any color I want, right? And it's going to give us our hexadecimal value for that color. And let's go to the next. And then when I'm done, I click publish. Let's go down to background image. So I can load an image into the background, right? So let's select an image. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to select this image here and click choose image. And so you can see that you can actually load an image into the background. Now this image probably wouldn't work. It should either be muted down towards a more neutral gray, or lightened to a muted color, so that the idea is that you want to have contrast. That you want to have, if you have a dark background, you want to have light text. If you have a light background, you have dark text. But I just wanted to show you that you can load something into the background. These images are in that folder called Customizer, and they've been given to you, and you've used them already for the media library and pages versus posts. So I can choose how the image fits, right? So I have fill screen, I have default, I have fit to screen, I have repeat, and then I have custom, and then I can change the position. Let's go back to uh, fit to screen, and I can change the position of the element on the page if I want, right? So I'm not going to use this, but I wanted to show you it's possible. Let's click remove and let's look at the other image I have up here, which is the boat in the background. So this might work better, right? Because it's darker. Let's go fill screen, okay? And so as you can see here, I can load an image into the background. Some of your themes will allow you to do this in a customizer, and some of them won't. I'm going to remove that. I'm just going to go with the plain um, light background here. Let's go out of background image and go down to menus. So what we have to do is we have to create that menu, right? And then we have to choose to display the menu here by choosing primary menu and by typing in the menu name. And so it's going to display the menu here. And then we click publish, right? That's going to publish our page with the menu. Let's hit the back button. And we can have more, some of the menus, you can have more than one. This one will allow you to have up to two menus. We're only going to work with one, but you could actually create a second menu. And then we have what are called widgets. And we'll come back to widgets later, but the idea with widgets is they're little applications that can be built into the page. And it might be something like a calendar or a search box or a list of archived posts, etc. And so I generally do not use widgets on my web page, but because they make it look like a blog. And I do use widgets on blog elements, on web log journals. Okay. And so we'll come back, and generally what I do is I take all the widgets off the page when I'm working with WordPress, when I'm using it as a blog. So we'll come back and we'll learn how to use the widgets in another exercise. And so these widgets are going to go into the footer. The footer is the bottom of the page. You do want to have something that tells the user that they've reached the bottom of the page. So that can be useful and resourceful. Next, we have homepage settings. What we want to do is we want to click that we want the website to be set to us. If we're building it as a website, we want to choose as a static page, and we want to choose which page we want to be the first page they come to when they come to the site, and that's usually the home page. So I come in here and I say static page, and I choose the page I want to be the home page, and we labeled it home for that particular reason. And then this excerpt settings is a throwback to, once again, to the blog DNA of WordPress. In this case, if you have the WordPress set up for blogging, on your front page, it would show either a summary of the full text of the blog posts and then the additional CSS. So the thing about WordPress is that you can go in and modify WordPress with HTML and CSS. But what they don't want you to do is go in and modify the actual theme itself. So you can make a dummy theme. Um, but what they really would like you to do is if you have any small CSS commands, you can type them right into this box here or copy and paste them right into this box here. And there's less of a chance of it making a mistake to the actual structural elements of the site. Because if it doesn't work, you just take it out. So that's my customizer. And then when I'm done, I make sure I click the publish button, and it's going to consolidate all those changes. And the whole idea is that these are changes that are going to go across the whole website. And that's the customizer.